Because I said I'm going to do Cosmos Eco videos from time to time, at least once a week, I'm going to try and do that. And so I'm trying to keep true to that word, with the exception of last week because I was at lockdown in Croatia. Today we're going to talk about Terra Luna, which is the topic that many don't actually talk about, especially if you've been holding it, if you're in the Cosmos ecosystem, because it does have that negative connotation of what happened. But just in case, I'm sure most of you know, but just in case you don't already know what's happened, we'll look at an article which explains what's been going on, what has actually happened, the reason why it happened, because to me it was news. And so just in case you're in the same boat as me and you hadn't had time to research into it because you've been away, been on holiday or whatever, then you'll get a chance in this video. I'm going to look at the article which explains it really well, because I had to find different articles to I had to look for different articles to find decent enough information which explains and clarifies what's going on. And then I'll also talk a bit about Binance. But first, we're going to talk about Portugal, okay? Because this is a topic that I've been discussing on this channel before. I had two financial advisors, two tax advisors, I should say, not financial advisors, although you could say financial too, specializing in crypto and also in stocks, etc., and other investments. But both of them did talk about the taxes in Portugal, and in the majority of cases the answer was it depends. And if crypto is your main source of income, then you're definitely taxed on it. However, if it's not your main source of income, if you've got another source of income and then crypto is just an investment which you're selling for example, if you've made some earnings and you want to sell them for euros, then you are not taxed on that. However, the last tax advisor that I've had on my channel did say that he does believe, he's not sure, he does believe that depending on the amount that you're earning as your main source of income, then it could be that if you're cashing out in large sums of crypto, say for example hundreds of thousands of euros, whereas you're earning in your main source of income maybe 1,000 euros per month, then you may be taxed on that. That's what he's saying, but he cannot confirm it 100% sure. However, everything's about to change now, so we can wipe everything away. Maybe there's still a chance with the NHR scheme. I'm not 100% sure on that. I may have to bring him on again just to discuss to see if he's got more information. But Portugal may move to tax crypto gains soon. This was just announced, and so I want to talk about this, and then we'll talk about Terra Luna and Binance as well. Yeah, frequently seen as a crypto haven in Europe up to now, Portugal is considered taxing crypto gains in the near future. And guess what? I've been speaking about this before, and their capital gains tax is higher than that of Spain, the neighbor, right? And it's 28%, which is quite high. Yeah, Portugal's days are alleged crypto tax haven may soon be over. Portuguese Finance Minister Fernando Medina has confirmed that his government is studying how to tax crypto gains in the country. There's no time frame for when this will happen, he said on May 13th. Currently, capital gains from crypto investments, which are seen as a form of payment, a currency but not an asset under Portuguese tax law, are not taxed so long as they are not an individual's main source of income. Several countries are building their models concerning the issue, crypto taxing, and we are going to build our own. Right now, I don't want to make a commitment regarding a date, but we're going to adapt our legislation and our taxation, Minister said in a parliament hearing about the country's 2022 budget. Standard capital gains tax in Portugal for residents is 28%, and the personal income tax ranges from 14.5% to 48%. Corporate income tax has a flat rate of 21%, but there are also local and state surtaxes. Medina said there would be a balanced approach to how crypto is going to be taxed in the country and promised to follow principles such as tax justice and effectiveness. And he argued that there couldn't be any loopholes that spare crypto investors from paying taxes, but he also cautioned that high levels of taxation could bring revenue down to zero, of course, because people are no longer going to invest in Portugal. And so he knows that, right? How can you not think about that, right? If you're gonna tax crypto in your country, right? Think of a way to tax less. Even if you do tax, like, I'm not against taxation, but at least tax less, right? Do something that's attractive. If you could do something like in some Eastern European countries where it's 10% capital gains and they don't even care what transactions you're doing in crypto, then if Portugal could do something like that because of the weather they have, because of the amount of expats that are there, I think they could have a good potential to become the next go-to country for crypto investors. Okay, that's just my opinion. It already is, right? But if this is not going to last, and if the tax is going to be high, then it could hurt them. So just to continue here, moreover, Portugal would seek to learn from countries with more experience taxing crypto. The minister added that although he didn't specify which countries, changes to the rules may impact the growing crypto community in the country. One example is the famous Bitcoin family who moved to Portugal in February, citing zero crypto taxes as a reason for their relocation. And yeah, I do remember them. discussing. They're actually traveling around the world in a caravan, I believe, and they've sold their home and everything to invest in Bitcoin, and they're still holding it. So that's one of the reasons why they've moved to Portugal, so that they can cash out, because of course you need money to survive, right? How else are you going to survive? Nobody's accepting crypto in a supermarket, right? And so yeah, crypto people that move to Portugal are extremely mobile, curious to see what impact this will have on them and Portugal's image as a crypto hub. Tweeted EU policy expert Patrick Hansen, Precise Capital's crypto venture advisor. The budget for 2022 was delayed after a political crisis in late 2021 and an early election in January. A radical left-wing party called Left Bloc has a draft bill to tax crypto gains already this year. However, the Socialist Party in the majority in the parliament is unlikely to be accepted as the government looks to undertake a more comprehensive review of tax legislation. The reform being studied by the government will include other aspects of the tax legislation beyond capital gains, such as VAT, and it will also cover anti-money laundering legislation as well as regulation and supervision of crypto markets in Portugal. So they're going to have that watchdog on you, right? And the finance minister's answers to members of parliament suggest that Portugal is waiting on the final outcome at the European level of MiCA at the markets in crypto assets regulation, as well as the transfer of funds regulation, TRF legislation, to go ahead with a broad legislative reform regarding crypto assets. The 2022 budget is set to be approved in the Portuguese parliament by the end of May, so we're going to find out what's going to happen, but I'm not liking this, to be honest. Like I said, it depends on the tax, but if it's going to be the capital gains tax, which is applicable in Spain, that's 28% in Portugal, it's not going to be such a valuable destination, so to say, right? And I do believe that Spain is going to remain more bullish in that sense in terms of good weather and less tax for crypto, between 19% and 26% depending on the amount. If you're only cashing out 6k per year, you're paying 19%, but nobody can survive with 6k per year. And so let's say you're cashing out up to 49,999 per year, then you are paying 21% for anything between 6k and the 49,999, right? Because if you get to 50,000, you go into the next tax bracket, which is 23%. Now anything over 200,000 is taxed at 26%, which is the highest tax bracket in Spain. And so for me personally, I believe 50k is enough to live a decent life, of course, if you have a property or if you have a low mortgage. And so for me personally, I think between 19 and 21% is pretty okay, considering it's a good country with a good medical system, with a good healthcare system, I should say. Now, maybe other things don't work so well, right? They're not maybe as good as the UK in other aspects, right? I have lived in the UK as well, and I can say that, yeah, it does work well there in most aspects, right, when it comes to bureaucracy and stuff. But for the weather and for the healthcare, I do believe Spain is a good destination. And again, the taxes are not super high, right? Like in the US, where in some places you're paying insane amounts, like 40%. But to move on to the next topic here, and that's Terra Luna. $3 billion in Bitcoin was sold in a last-ditch attempt to save UST, the stablecoin, from collapsing. And this story is really interesting because this tells you exactly what happens, okay? So let's find out. Well, Luna Foundation Guard, a fund set up by Terra creator Do Kwon, said Monday that it spent almost all of the Bitcoin in its reserve last week in a futile attempt to save Terra USD, or USD for short. Now, the foundation had accumulated a total of more than 80,000 Bitcoins, which was worth nearly $3 billion last week, as well as other tokens including BNB, Tether, USDC, and Avalanche. Kwon had promised to use the Bitcoin in the event of a dramatic fall in the value of USD. Now, in a series of tweets, Luna Foundation Guard said he transferred 52,189 Bitcoins to trade with a counterparty. That is an insane amount of money that has been moved there. Now, as USD fell below its intended $1 peg, a further 33,206 Bitcoins were sold by Terra directly in a last-ditch effort to defend the peg, the foundation said. Now, as of Monday, Luna Foundation Guard had just 313 Bitcoins left in its reserve. So that's absolutely insane, worth approximately $9.3 million. And the firm said it would use the remainder of its $85 million in crypto assets, including some BNB and Avalanche, to compensate remaining users of UST. And I think this is the reason why CZ also got involved, because it's also impacting him. And you'll see why, because I'm going to talk about another article before that. And by the way, I should have said this at the beginning, but if you are in the live chat, please let me know. If you have any questions about this, let me know, and I'll hopefully be able to answer it for you. Now, UST is what's known as an algorithmic stablecoin. Unlike Tether and USDC, which hold fiat assets in a reserve to back their tokens, UST relied on a complex set of code coupled with a floating token called Luna to balance supply and demand and stabilize the price. Now, when UST began to drop below $1 last week, Luna also started to sell off, resulting in a vicious cycle that caused USD to plunge to less than 30 cents, where Luna became worthless, and that's why Luna is worth like 0.00002 or something like that. Now USD is now worth just 9 cents, but it is higher now. I think it's like 20 cents from what I saw. According to CoinGecko data, the big problem when you're dealing with a partially collateralized stablecoin like USD is that your hard collateral, Bitcoin in this case, is going to be considerably more valuable to investors than your governance token or Luna, said Frances Sepola, an independent economist. And let's check this out now. So blockchain analytics from Elliptic estimates holders of USD and Luna have lost a total of $42 billion over the past week. Analysis from the company shows that 52,189 Bitcoins were moved to a single account at crypto exchange Gemini, while a further 28,205 Bitcoins were transferred to Binance. Tom Robinson, chief scientist at Elliptic, said it was not possible to trace the movement of the funds beyond these wallets. The debacle rippled through crypto markets, wiping out more than $200 billion of wealth in a single day. Bitcoin on Thursday briefly fell below $26,000, its lowest level since December 2020, and the world's biggest cryptocurrency was last trading at $29,000, 526, down 1.4% in the last 24 hours. And again, this article is a bit old because it is above 30K right now. It's like 30.5K. Now, there's not a lot of outstanding sell pressure, said Dustin Tender, analyst at crypto research firm Sorry. In a sense, the market is going to take that as kind of bullish. And so, yeah, this has been it from this article. Let me know about this article, but let's move on to Binance. But it just shows you that Binance have something to do with it. Gemini have something to do with it because they are big exchanges. They're likely early investors in this as well. And that's why we're going to find out in this that actually Binance are early investors in this, right? So let me decline these cookies here. Now, Binance's Luna investment was worth $1.6 billion, and now it's less than $3,000, and the CEO is moving to protect users. And by the CEO, we mean CZ. Now, the world's largest... this ad is so annoying. The world's largest crypto exchange, Binance, had the potential to reap mega earnings from Terra's USD algorithmic stablecoin before it crashed last week. And along with its sister cryptocurrency Luna, in 2018, Binance put $3 million into Luna and received 15 million tokens in return. At Luna's price peak in April, these tokens are worth $1.6 billion. Binance CEO said in a Monday tweet at Luna's price, now the tokens are worth about $2,391. But despite Binance's big losses, Zhao said he still wants retail traders who lost money during Luna's crash last week to be reimbursed before Binance's. To lead by example on protecting users, Binance will let this go and ask the Terra project team to compensate the retail's users first. Okay, Binance last, if ever, Zhao wrote in a tweet on Monday. And the reason for this, in my opinion, is because CZ is understands that he needs to keep the community. Because if people are not getting refunded for this, a lot of people are going to leave. And, you know, the word of mouth is like a virus, right? If people are going to complain about this, they're going to think crypto is a scam. And then CZ is going to lose his traders. If CZ loses his traders, because Binance depends on cryptocurrency traders to be active. If people don't trade, then it's game over for Binance. It's game over for a lot of crypto exchanges for a long time until we regain the trust in the crypto market. It is going to affect the crypto market as a whole. And so I can see why CZ, because he's a very smart dude, right? He's not the CEO of Binance for nothing. He didn't get so rich for nothing. And so I can see why he's done something like this and why he can let this go, because he understands the power of the community is much, much bigger than filling up his own pockets, which are already very full, right? Let's put it this way. And so, yeah, let's see. What else did he say? So last week, Terraform Labs algorithmic stablecoin USD, which was theoretically, okay, so here they're just talking about the crash, right? Yeah, so Binance has been a key supporter of the company that created Luna Terraforms for years. Binance's investment arm was a lead investor in a $32 million funding round in 2018. So that's quite a long time ago. That Terraform Labs said at the time was meant to build a modern financial system on the blockchain. So that's why they've been supporting it. That's why Luna has been doing so well. But the relationship between the Terraform Labs and Binance has not been as rosy lately. Zhao said in last week that he was very disappointed at how the team behind Luna and UST handled the collapse. When Terraform Labs CEO Do Kwon said he wanted to fork Terra or create a new blockchain and distribute millions of tokens in a new cryptocurrency to supporters, Zhao was frank with his opinion. This won't work, he said it in a tweet. In a separate tweet last Friday, Zhao said of the Terra team, so far we have not gotten any positive response or much response at all. Both UST and Luna's crash caused major losses for small investors, some of whom vented their despair on social media last week. Zhao, along with other notable crypto figures like Ethereum founder Vitalik Buterin and Justin Sun, the creator of algorithmic stablecoin USDD, have thrown their support behind a proposal suggested by a Twitter user to refund 100% of funds to the poorest 99.6% of the wallets who lost money from the USD crash. Sun said on Monday he'd pledge $10 million of his stablecoin tied to the US dollar, so the poorest 236,000 USD holders can be reimbursed. So that's pretty cool. It's also a nice marketing stunt from them in order to attract more attention towards Tron, which has not been doing so well because many people don't trust it. But the Luna Foundation Guard, an organization that supports the Terra ecosystem, said in a Monday tweet that it had heavily dipped into its reverses to try to stabilize USD. So as you can see, the whole crypto community, at least the rich, are trying to stand up to this and are trying to help the community, the ones affected. And this, like, kudos to them for this, right? You can't complain about this. If you're one of them who has been hurt, like if I would be one of them, I would personally be happy with this. Of course, I would thank them. Of course, I would say, yes, thank you, Justin Sun, thank you, CZ, even if I don't personally really support Tron, right? I'm okay with them wanting to build and stuff, but I just don't personally support it. I do like using their USDT though for transfers between exchanges because it does have that very low fee of like $1, and so that's pretty much the only good thing about Tron in my opinion. Maybe they have built something interesting, but I'm just not personally supporting them, not personally looking into it, and so I'm kind of stepping away because of their history, right? So yeah, this has been good overall to see that the founders of all these big companies, these corporations, you could say right now, right, in crypto, are trying to support the community. So kudos to them for that. And also a bit of a negative impact on the Portuguese situation, unfortunately, with the news that we've gotten with regards to the crypto tax. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.